The videos we left off with an incredible lesson from the Ramban, and was, as I said, this is the basis for really the 5 levels of pleasure, but it's the basis for all of Judaism. And there's so much that is built on this principle. And before I even jump into the 5th level of pleasure, to understand what this means, these words "l'toiv lach" hit me. Is really, why is this also the basis for the most important principle in Judaism? Because what is the most important lesson that the Chovos HaLevavos repeats over and over, which is the bread and butter of Judaism, the building blocks of Judaism, is Hakaras HaTov. We hear this a lot of times. Hakaras HaTov means to recognize the good. To recognize the good. The ultimate recognition is to recognize the good, that the Rabban Shem is Toiv, like we pointed out, his name is Toiv, HaToiv Shimcha, and he's interested in our good. Therefore, Hakaras HaToiv, we hear gratitude. Don't translate it. Hakaras, to recognize the good. Recognize the most important principle. Recognize the goal of living is L'Toiv Lach. You know, it's interesting. There's an amazing story. We have to veer off on this incredible story, and I don't want to forget also that Tuesday, Yom Shlishi of the week of Beshalach, is what's called the Parsha of the Man, and everyone speaks about how important it is to read the Parshas Haman. And we pointed out in the past already that Parshas Haman is not just about reading. Yes, you should do Shnai Mikveh Chatagim, and you should daven. It's from Amenda Mariminov. It's an incredible school for Parnasa. But if you look in the Mishnah Berurah, he discusses the idea that it's the recognition of what the man represented. What did the man represent? It was an incredible food. It was 5th level pleasure, but it was also, as we'll discuss later on, it was a higher level pleasure because it was a type of food that you didn't have to have trouble with, and it was absorbed into the body. But it was the idea that the Rebbeinu Shem is taking care of us. What was the man? It was the most incredible life. It was l'toiv lach. The Rebbeinu Shem is a way of saying, I'm taking care of you. I'm giving you the best food in the world. You just eat this man, it gets absorbed in your body, and you're taken care of. You get all the nutritions and all nutritional information. Everything is gewaldig, and whatever you want it to taste like, it tastes like. That's man. That's l'toiv lach. Now, an incredible lesson. Years ago, I was by a very strange experience. I was by a levaya of a dog. And for years, I've been struggling. A dog, something good to have in the house, not good to have in the house. Should a person own a dog? Should not a person own a dog? And there's a whole sugya in Maseches Baba Kama about it. A dangerous dog is not something one should have. There's a whole story of a woman that was pregnant and she got scared and she miscarried. But then on Shabbos Kodesh, I saw the most incredible story from Rav Zilberstein. Changed my whole life about how to look at a dog and appreciate so many things, and especially the expression give a dog a bone. Where does that come from? Give a dog a bone. Everything somehow is you can find in Judaism. So he listened to this incredible story of Zilberstein. It's in Harim now, and I was, Mom, you're gonna jump. You're gonna fall off your chair from this story. It's basically a story of a person that was doing a cast lead, the war, and when they went to Gaza. And Mamash 10 years ago, it's called Cast Lead. I remember this very, very much. I had a lot of interesting experiences. When it came to the story, I went to visit soldiers in Eretz Yisrael. Anyway, long story short, there was a rabbi, and he was actually a Mekarev. We'll soon see what's got to do with this, with a war. Anyway, he's driving, and suddenly the siren goes off. When the siren goes off, everyone runs to the miklat, to the protected room, and as he's trying to drive off the road a little bit, so what happens is he runs over a dog. Anyway, after things cooled off and everything else, so they were non-religious Jews that came out, and they saw the dog was destroyed, dead on the street. Anyway, they start screaming, "Oh, you Haredi rabbi! You don't know how to drive. He killed our dog." This Haredi rabbi was trained to reach out and to be warm. Anyway, he warmed up to his family. He said, "So I'm so sorry, and Taka, it's really, really sad. I remember I have a friend, and he invited me to a levaya of his dog. It was something unusual to be by a levaya of a dog with the whole thing. I don't know if they said Kaddish, didn't say Kaddish, but you're going to listen to this story, you're going to see what this meant, and how actually it's not so foreign. In any rate, so what happened? So this rabbi was Mekar of this family, and slowly he started giving shiurim to his family. Amazing, he made a connection. They were very impressed. They were inspired. What a derech eretz. You see what he could do. Once a week he was giving a share until finally there was a beautiful announcement. Hakaras HaTov. The family decided they want to designate their basement where the shiurim were given, and they want to turn it into a shul. Beautiful. But what was the challenge? They told them they want to call it Igor. They want to call it Beis HaKnesses Igor. Igor, interesting name. So the rabbi said, Igor's, why would they call it Igor? So they said, listen, the dog that you ran over that actually brought us together, that dog was called Igor. And we want to be what's called a Hansiach. We want to give memory to this dog. And therefore we want to call the shul Beis HaKnesses Igor. Beis HaMidrash Igor. Now again, these Jews are only starting to come back to Judaism, and the appreciation of what a shul means in the Beis Midrash wasn't fully yet recognized. And therefore they felt this is an amazing idea. Now of course the rabbi wanted to be smart about this. And he wasn't sure. Is it a bizayin? Is it belittling the Beis HaMidrash and the shul? What's the right thing to do? So he went to Rav Zilberstein. Rav Zilberstein has such an amazing response, and believe that it will be continued tomorrow. Hatzlacha.